And with the tip-off, we're ready for game action to begin. Early in the first, Michael Jordan goes strong to the hoop and scores on the lefty layup to put the East up by 2. But Drexler wastes no time with the alley-oop from Stockton to tie the contest up. The Shack is rejected by Robinson, and John Stockton pushes the ball up court, finishing the dream break with a dish to Barkley, who sends it home. The West continues to pour it on as Stockton finds his favorite target, the mailman, who delivers the righty power slam. And in the middle of the first, it's 14-6, the West. Isaiah dribbles up top, makes eye contact with Jordan, who rises above and scores on the great alley-oop. Isaiah now tries to hit Pippen down court, who can't get to the ball. But the Shack is there for the recovery, the slam, and the foul. Thunder Dan Marley shows that persistence pays off as he misses the bomb from long range, but gets the rebound and nails the tray to put the West ahead by 2. But it's the Jazz who are in rhythm as Stockton pokes the ball loose. Shovels off to the mailman for a striking slam. And at the end of one, the West leads 27-26. In second quarter action, Mark Price finds Dumars on the elbow, where he strokes the picture-perfect three-pointer. Detlef Schrempf and Price show some fancy moves as Schrempf scores on the unusual tip alley-oop. Tim Hardaway streaks in, finds the Admiral on the baseline for another monster slam. Sir Charles wants to see more and sends a long pass ahead to Robinson, who adds a little style to his dunk, and the score in the middle of the second is 50-47. Terry Porter shows off some dribbling wizardry, then steps back and nails the long shot for 3. Isaiah misses the free throw, and Larry Johnson throws up a prayer that's answered by the Shack. Oh, but the West knows that play too, as Danny Manning helps out Terry Porter with a tip. And the All-Stars go into the locker room with the West leading the East 59-52. The two big guns for the East in the first are, to no one's surprise, Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal, who accounted for 24 of the team's 52 points. Karl Malone paced the West with 17 points. In the third quarter, Michael Jordan remained hot as he eluded half the West team and glided in for the layup. Isaiah tries to get the Shack involved, but Akeem would have none of it as he rejects the rookie, and Stockton pushes the ball up on the break. Hits Dan Marley, filling the lane, and he scores on the super reverse layup. The Shack would try again and be rejected again, this time by the mailman, but Pippen would finish up strong with a two-hand slam. And in the middle of the third, the West would still lead 74-69. Larry Johnson scores from the low block on the power move inside. But the mailman gets the ball into Stockton quickly, who fires a laser to the streaking Marley, who tomahawks the ball righty ahead of the pack. Patrick Ewing on the right baseline puts the move on the Admiral, but comes up short until Larry Nance rises above everyone to slam it home. The East would continue to keep pace as Mark Price drains yet another 3, keeping the hot hand he had in last night's shootout. But Terry Porter would make sure the West kept their lead as he drives into the lane, then dishes behind his head to the Admiral, who scores on the layup high off the glass. And at the end of the third, it's still close, with the West ahead 86-84 over the East.
This be headed for overtime. There have been 4 in All-Star history. A three-pointer for Porter. Pippen to Price. Oh, Dumars. He wanted to go to some help, and there was none there.
I think he actually saw Danny Manning cutting down the lane. For a second, thought that was going to be a flashing teammate of his. Manning was trying to cut off the man opposite on the low box. Instead, the turnover.
The roar in the background, as you can see, Karl Malone stripping off his jacket. He has 23. That's still more than anyone in this game. Hardaway for three, and that's a big basket. Sends the West up 101-95.
Well, the crowd was cheering because also they know that he's in line for that MVP award. They want him to get it.
Mark Price, he's 4 for 4 from three-point range in this half.
And he's also on that list of candidates for the MVP. He's brought them back.
All of his points on trays, 12 for Price. Barkley, a power move, and then the pass to Manning.
Nice cut. Nice pass, nice cut.
A dozen for Manning, who is 6 for 6 from the floor. His first All-Star game. Oh, Brad Daugherty with that little soft jump hook.
You know, he doesn't do anything spectacular, just everything good. It's just rebounds, he's a great passer, you know, but he's not going to do anything fancy.
Pippen and Barkley, a little bump and shove inside, and here they are matched. 7 on the shot clock for Porter. Jamming his way in, no whistle, and Dumars picks it off. Here comes the East down by 3. Price, can he tie it? Yes!
Talk about looking across the floor. Those Chicago players know to look across the floor because it's Paxson they usually find during the regular season.
But I think they'd rather have Mr. Price. He has a little bit deeper range.
Game tied for the 9th time, and Barkley unties it.
You're seeing some excellent passing by big people on the inside, which is great to see.
2-point game with 5:14 left.
Talk about whether or not this is serious. Charles Barkley, Pippen trying to get down to that low box. Pippen says you're not getting there. Charles says I am getting there. Pippen comes around and takes the front. Charles comes back, tries to reestablish. And then, at the end, after everything's said and done, perhaps shades of the game against the Angola Magic. Barkley, after he comes around his teammate, a little shot with the elbow.
A little pork chop, huh?
That means that the game has gotten serious, and now everybody wants to win now. And that's just to let Pippen know, if we reach the finals, you reach the finals, this is what you're going to get.
Barkley at the line with a 2-point West lead. Adam says he's only 6'4". Do you think he's taller than that?
No. 6'4", 6'5", that's it.
3-point game. Price draws the foul. Stockton back in, as is Malone for the West.
Tough call right now for Pat Riley in substitutions because Price is playing so well. You have Michael sitting on the bench. You want to get Michael back in the game for the final minutes down the stretch. And then the big decision, who's coming out on the floor in that center spot? Is it going to be O'Neal? Is it going to be Patrick Ewing? You wind up playing them both together on the floor.
Well, not only that, but Brad Daugherty right now is playing very well. He's hit what, 3 hook shots in a row. And this team out here is playing well as a unit. So do you mess with that unit, or do you come back with the so-called starters that the fans have voted in? But hey, here comes Patrick Ewing. Wow.
Stockton against Price. Barkley from outside. Elijah Wan and Schrempf is able to tie him up. A good play by Detlef Schrempf.
Now, let me ask you a question. Why would you say, wow, that it's Patrick Ewing? You know him, Pat Riley. What's going to happen at the end of a game if Riley's got some guys on the All-Star team?
And Michael Jordan coming right back. I knew that he was going to go to Ewing, but I just said, wow, just to please you.
Marley for the West for Hardaway. So here's the lineup now. It's Elijah Wan, Malone, Barkley, Stockton, and Marley. Schrempf, Price, Jordan, Daugherty, and Pippen for the East.
I should point out that one year,
Malone fouled by Schrempf.
When Pat Riley was the coach, he came into the locker room, and we were at the All-Star game. I can't remember what year, but he told everybody, if the game gets close down to the fourth quarter, I'm going with all my guys. So, you know, the game got close. He went with myself, Kareem, and I think it was Jamal then. And we ended up pulling that game out. But every time down, he called a Laker play, and none of the other two guys who were non-Lakers didn't know what we were doing and what they were supposed to do.
That was the fist play.
Yes, the old fist play. That's Kareem play.
Get the ball to the big guy. Malone hits 1 of 2, 107-104. Karl Malone with 24 points to lead all scorers, but no sense to win the MVP as Pippen. Ewing rebounds. Jordan. Great pass by Price. Jordan for 3. No, he'll try the 2 and is fouled by Olajuwon. Who are the top candidates, gentlemen, for the MVP if you had to vote?
Well, if I'm going to go with, talk about the Eastern squad, you have to consider Michael Jordan, Mark Price for what he's done here, and off his early performance. Shaq was up there, but maybe fading a little bit here in the second half.
Right, and then on the west side, you got Karl Malone and David Robinson. And both those guys have played very well.
And with 4:22 left, it may come down to the man who makes the winning shot. Jordan pulls the East within 1.
Have you ever thought about wearing shoes?
Stockton over Price, and it was Pippen who came out to challenge as well. The East down court looking for their first lead here in the fourth quarter. Pippen over Olajuwon, and it's Barkley breaking out with Marley. Jordan to beat, and Jordan fouls him.
Pippen seemed like he tried to find a little extra lift right at the end. He knew that the big fella was coming over to try and block it. He hung just a little bit long, got a little extra ups on it, but just couldn't send it down.
And you know what happened was that Hakeem jumped right in his path and turned right in his face, so he couldn't dunk it over him because Hakeem's hand was right there. So Scotty had to hold it. And when he held it that 1 second, it was just too far for him to dunk over.
With Barkley missing the free throw, it winds up being a good foul then by Michael Jordan to prevent the easy layup.
Barkley looking for his 12th point. And a 2-point West lead, 108-106 with just under 4 minutes to go. Now Riley up off that stool. Now he's pacing the sideline, so it's serious indeed.
It's winning time.
Malone comes out on Jordan. Jordan way short. And that pleases the Utah crowd. For 3. 12 for Marley. Phoenix fans have seen him do that all season long. Timeout, Pat Riley.
Well, you have two Phoenix Suns players playing together. Dan Marley knew that Charles Barkley was going to kick it to him. He just got his feet together, and you know what it is. Good.
Spot up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my.
And Pat Riley, now down by 5, says, I'm out. NBA Commissioner David Stern, or this game is testimony to how serious his teams play. I mean, the athletes here today have played very hard. This isn't the usual all-star, let's just have a good time game type action. They played hard. Coaches have worked it hard, and it comes down to a 3-point margin. West leading East 111-108. Foul before the shot.
And then give both coaches as well as the players a lot of credit for coming out here and playing as hard as they've played, because they put it all on the line, and all of them know that they have the second half of the season to look forward to, too. And they put it all out here this afternoon.
Stockton's 4th point. Well, unfortunately, because they have to tally the votes, they asked for the press to vote on the MVP and have it in by 3 minutes left. So it is now 3 minutes to go. So if somebody has a dramatic final 3 minutes to win this game, it won't be taken into account. Jordan draws the foul from Marley.
And right now, to this 3 minutes and what the score is right now, you almost have to say it's Karl Malone, especially if the West ends up winning this game. But like you said, if the East comes back and wins the game, then Mark Price becomes a big factor.
Jordan hits the free throw, and interestingly, Shaq O'Neal has played only 6 minutes the second half, as Pat Riley has used O'Neal a total of 20 minutes in the game at this point.
Well, I think he's just saying, well, these guys, I'm going to play these guys. They probably deserve it because what they've done over the past year. And you're going to have 17, 18 All-Star games, Shaq, so don't you worry about it.
3-point lead for the West. 2:40 to go. Malone and Ewing. And the rebound, Isaiah Thomas. Here comes the East. Great pass to Pippen, and it's knocked away by Karl Malone. He saved 2.
Are you surprised that as well as Mark Price played, that he's on the bench now, Isaiah's back in?
Well, he's probably tired right now, and he needs a breather. He's been in there a long time.
Jordan, pick and roll to Doherty, and rebound by Olajuwon. 2:20 to go.
Okay, right here I would go to Karl Malone. If I was John Stockton, just keep going, force feeding it in there to him. He's played very well.
Olajuwon was 7. Barkley. And Pippen steals it. And Pippen shoots. Jordan up the back of Barkley, and that's a big back to climb. And the foul on Michael.
I'm not quite sure that Scottie Pippen really wanted to do that. I think initially Pippen wanted to, after they come up with the basketball, Pippen wanted to cross the ball over to the left side of the floor. But what happens is he doesn't see the angle. Michael tries to follow, has to go over a few people's backs, but so what? It's Michael. He should be allowed to.
But the only reason he got that foul is he lost the ball once he came down. And because bodies went flying, that really wasn't a foul. It was after he lost it, then they decided to call a foul. Because how can you push Charles Barkley to the floor? Michael Jordan.
Jack O'Neal getting ready to report. 1:54 left. Barkley looking for his 13th point. A 4-point West.
The only thing I can say to Shaq, Dick, is that all rookies have been through this. Myself, Michael Jordan, Isaiah, we've all started, but we all were limited in our minutes because of veterans who, deservingly so, should get a lot of time in All-Star games because they've been there so many times.
And to talk to this young man, he's going to handle this perfectly. He understands. I have not met a rookie who's come in and had the presence that this young man has. There's a long, bright career ahead for him.
Exactly.
Ewing gets away with a walk. And now the second. And timeout called by the West with the ball and the lead. 114-110. A minute, 40 seconds to go. Stockton to Barkley to Malone. Olajuwon might have gotten away with a push. Or was it Barkley?
Looks like it's Patrick Ewing.
No, Barkley with a look on his face of, did I do it? Number 33.
First Patrick gave you that. Me? And then he goes, yeah, it was you.
Sends Olajuwon to the line. And now Hakeem has not had a great All-Star game, but what a tremendous... Has anyone played better, any superstar in this league played better to this point with so little publicity than Olajuwon?
No, he's done it. And you know what? He hasn't worried about that contract situation or the owner argument that they had last season. He's played over all that, and just having a tremendous season.
1:15, 1:10, time running out. 70 seconds to go. 75. Jordan banks one home. It's a 3-point game.
Well, this guy's used to big finishes in this building, isn't he?
Yes.
23 for number 23. Olajuwon stripped to the ball by Isaiah.
Now, you don't need a 3 right now, do you, Magic?
No, you don't need a 3. You have plenty of time to get a deuce, come back down and play good defense again.
Marley hawking Jordan. Rebound Malone to Marley. Whoa, almost a mistake by the West, and it's Malone inside, and they love that in Salt Lake. And that shot, folks, had MVP written all over it.
It's a matter of slipping it inside Michael before he can get the swipe, and you're on your way to MVP.
Up to Gary Payton. Lead pass to Kemp. What a lob! He'll play it down. Whoa! Oh, showtime!
I love this game.
3 seconds.
I love this game.
It is Drexler. Has Kersey.
We love
DC. I love this game.
Have you ever thought about wearing shoes?
Well, if Pat Riley should decide he wants to go for the three-pointer here, he might take a quick 2 off the dribble. But you have Mark Price, who's 8th best in the league behind the three-point line, and Dumars is on the bench, who's 13th best.
Price is 5 for 7 and hits the 3. What a game for him. And the foul by Jordan on Marley to stop the clock. 1:17, 1:15, just under 26 seconds to go. 5th foul on Michael.
This was set up off the out-of-bounds play. A double screen to free up Mark Price. He catches it. He squares up. Bottom of the net.
It's almost too bad that you can't give out 2 MVPs. It's just like last season, last year's game, that Clyde Drexler could have been the MVP as well. It's a shame. And this year, same thing could happen.
Marley misses, so even if he makes the second shot, the East is a 3-pointer away from a tie.
Now, Michael is over there talking to Pat Riley, and what they're talking about is whether or not they should bring it up and try and go for a shot in transition, or whether they want to take a timeout and advance the basketball.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting call to see what he actually wants to do here.
I think he'll take the timeout and advance it.
Marley gives the West a 3-point lead, and indeed Riley has called time and to set up a play with 25.9 seconds left.
This guy must have been a coach Mike Fratello.
Well, I'm smart enough to know that if this works the first time that we see right there, let's call a timeout. Riley likes it. That's why he took that timeout. So he wants to set it up again.
Just under 2-second difference now with 24-second clock and the game clock. And here comes Danny Manning in. A late move by Paul Westphal as he's going to defend the inbounds pass by Pippen. That's getting it in.
Well, a little bit of confusion there. Was it going to be a 5-second call, or were they going to give the timeout to the East before before the 5-second violation took place. Pat Riley's laughing because he's the guy who was calling the timeout.
Well, the referees are going to be lenient toward that. They want the dramatics of this game. They don't want to. Why would you call 5 seconds? You want some dramatic. You don't know what's going to happen at the end of the game.
You don't think the officials know what the score is in the game, do you?
In this game, yes. In a regular season game, no.
That's close, just officiating.
Well, the East has one timeout left. Paul Westphal with a couple.
It's all about drama right now. This is wonderful. I love it. What's going to happen?
Well, Westphal, much calmer in demeanor. And that's how he played. Riley, a more fiery competitor. He learned that from Chick Hearn, did Pat Riley, because that's how he really started his career as an announcer with Chick Hearn. And, of course, Chick told him all you'd want to know about coaching.
Exactly. Well, who did he learn to dress from?
He is a bon vivant.
West is taking the man off the ball. Watch for Pippen stepping back in for a shot after he passes it back.
Right into Jordan. The quick shot, and he makes it. That's your call, Magic.
Yes.
And now let's see about the quick foul.
Yes.
Timeout West.
See, Coach Riley knew that, hey, let's get a quick two because they're going to play us for the 3. And he's always been known for that ever since he's been coaching, since I've known him.
The only problem is, though, you have to have somebody that can make a shot in that kind of situation. You think you put the ball in the right guy's hands?
Of course.
How many is that for Michael Jordan? 25, I believe. That would give him, I believe, the lead, at least for the East.
What you have is a lot of stuff. That's what Riley's looking at. See, he's fouling. He's ready to foul right away. Tell the guys, get up, find your man. In the meantime, the West is trying to take the timeout and decide now what they're going to do with the basketball. Do you take it out on the baseline where you have more room and it's easier to get in and they're allowed to run the baseline? Or do you advance it to half court where they must be stationary and it's tougher to get it in? They got a big man Pippen on the basketball right now, trying to take away that long touchdown pass, trying to cause him problems getting it in.
In the corner, and all alone is Hardaway. What a play by Price. He committed the foul. It looked as if he might have gotten the ball.
A nice play that time by the Western team. They passed the ball from out of bounds to out of bounds, ran some stuff on the floor, and sent the man long right away after the initial out of bounds pass.
Mark Price, he has played so very well today.
He's disgusted right there because he got back cut on that first pass that went from out of bounds to out of bounds. Price turned his head for a second, didn't figure his man was going to take off and go long, and that's what happened.
Hardaway has not missed, as you can see, 8 for 8 from the line.
Now, I don't think they're going to call a timeout. If he makes this, it's only a 2-point game. I think he's going to get in transition, let Michael go one-on-one instead of let a set defense play against him, and that being Pat Riley for the East.
Well, that's fine if the ball can wind up in Michael Jordan's hands. But if it winds up in somebody else's hands and Dan Marley doesn't allow Michael Jordan to catch the basketball, then who do you go to?
Well, right now, Isaiah Thomas is letting the officials know that they want a timeout no matter what happens.
So it's a 2-point game, 119-117, with 16.7 seconds left. The East with the ball, 2 to tie, and possible overtime. 16.7 seconds. 24-second clock off as the East looks for a tying and perhaps a winning play.
And the last 2 times, they've had a problem getting the ball inbounds. I'm talking about the East team. It has not been easy. The West has done a good job of zoning up areas and taking cutters coming to the ball out of their routes.
Jordan with Marley. Ewing is open. 8.1 seconds. 119.
The ultimate in team player. The man who everybody in the building knows is going to take the shot and try and bring the heroics to himself. Instead, he brings 2 defenders and finds Patrick Ewing.
Marley will inbound the ball with Jordan on him. Now Jordan backs off and will double team the inbounds man. Stockton. Knocked away by Ewing. Out of bounds to the West.
The East team can't believe that there was any deflection on that. Their feeling is that Stockton just lost it on his own.
A little over 5 seconds.
Now here will come the problem in an All-Star game because no timeout. So now what's going to happen? Who's going to get the ball here?
Barkley. Hardaway. Overtime.
Oh my! I got your fan. This is great. The crowd is loving it.
Mark Price just looked over here and gave a look as if to say, can you believe this? He's having fun on it on the floor.
The 5th overtime game in 43 years. 4 of those have been in the last 14. So things tightening up East and West, and a rally by the East orchestrated by Pat Riley.
And I was involved in that last one in '87 where Rolando Blackman got fouled with no time on the clock. He went up there and hit 2 free throws to send it in overtime.
In fact, it was Isaiah Thomas who walked up into his face before the foul shot, said a little something to try and distract him. Blackman knocked them both down.
Shaq O'Neal comes in. The East was never ahead that entire 4th quarter, but managed to tie.
Hey, what's going to happen now with this MVP voting, huh?
There's a rumor going around. Oh, new sheets are being handed out, so it's going to start all over again.
Yes.
Stockton on Isaiah. Malone underneath. Taken away, and Jordan to Marley. Barkley passes up on the 3. 5-minute overtime period. Ooh, Thomas gets thrown down by Malone. Check on the foul.
Well, first, let's check the extra effort by Jordan going into the crowd to try and save that one back over his shoulder. Pick and roll situation set up that time.
Foul was on Ewing of the East, his 3rd.
We'll have both big men in there, Ewing and Shaquille, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here.
Malone gets away from Ewing.
Well, I think he's a little too quick for Patrick. Patrick's not used to playing a quick power forward. He's used to playing centers who's a little bit slower than Karl Malone.
Now Ewing's turn. Oh, a tough 10-footer.
Patrick is used to doing that. Turn the baseline, shoot that jumper.
11 points for Ewing.
This is why this is the All-Star game. You get to see the best perform at their best.
Jordan around Robinson, who does a little dozy-do, and around you go to save the 2 points.
The guy that actually made that play happen defensively was Michael Jordan. He made believe that he was going to go away. He hung in there just long enough, then started to go away, and then came right back again, anticipating the post pass, came up with the deflection.
Robinson did the right thing, fouling before he got into that lane.
Gone in the overtime period. Jordan playing, remember, with 5 fouls. And he gives the East the lead. 123-121. 27 for Jordan.
Isaiah is smart enough to know to give the ball to the right people and get out of the way, and they're going to make something good happen.
Well, Isaiah wants to win. Isaiah wants to win. He understands that Michael just do his thing.
Barkley against Pippen. Marley, a 3-pointer. Dan Marley gives the West the lead. 124-123.
He's making Michael Jordan pay for cheating. You can't go double team Charles Barkley with Michael Jordan, or that's what you'll get right there.
Shaq O'Neal. Robinson rebounds and O'Neal fouls him.
Shaquille was just disappointed that he got that close, basically overpowered the post position, and then just plain missed the layup. But Michael Jordan with the basketball now, he gives a little show, and then let me step underneath and just kiss it off the front of the rim and hope to get a nice little roll.
The West by 1, and Stockton goes the distance. The West by 3.
Oh, Barkley stepping right back in on the inbounds pass. If you rush out of bounds, you don't concentrate. Smart defensive player takes a shot at it. That's what happens.
Barkley and Ewing. goes. O'Neal made the block. And a foul. Pippen committing the foul.
Everybody trying to get a little piece of Charles down below right there. Sends a big fella to the ground.
They're playing hard. The winner gets $5,000. The loser, $3,000. That's pocket change, tip money for these guys. But they're playing for competitive pride.
If you don't take your time and you rush it inbounds after a score, don't pay. Barkley makes believe he's going down, but then shoots the gap and comes back with a steal.
Michael Jordan trick.
That's where we got it from.
Karl Malone misses both.
Ooh.
It remains a 3-point lead. 2:35 to go.
I might get Mark Price up and get him ready right now.
Jordan to Isaiah for 2. Ewing. Patrick Ewing. 126-125. The West with the lead in the ball. 13 points for Ewing.
Now, when
Stockton left alone.
they've been running the same play over and over, just that pick and roll. They might use different men, but it's the same play for the West. And now the East is going to give their version of the pick and roll.
Less than 2 minutes to go. Ewing over Robinson. Robinson got a piece of it. Barkley embraces the rebound.
Well, that time when he screened and stepped back, it was much deeper than the previous time. Before it was a 16-foot jumper. That time a 21-foot jumper.
4 Olympians in white for the West on the floor now. Stockton to Barkley for 3. Sir Charles. Timeout, Pat Riley in the East.
Charles has been basically quiet for most of this game, but when it comes to dramatics, he can do it, and then he can celebrate at the end of it. Once he knows he's made it happen, he loves it.
That's his birthday dance. Charles was 30 yesterday.
Have you ever thought about wearing shoes?
Riley with Ewing and Shaquille on the floor, and Westphal has his big guy Barkley along with Marley.
I wonder if they've changed their defense on the pick and roll. They might try. There it is. They're out trapping, trying to get the ball out of his hands.
Less than a minute. Barkley stolen by Michael.
Good pick by Isaiah.
To Pippen and a foul. Robinson reaching in.
I tell you, John Stockton would have had that steal, but Isaiah, with his spark, picked him off.
Covering a great amount of distance on the pass that's a little too soft, a little too high. Scottie Pippen gets back and gets the offense going for the East team. And now this time on the reverse from the blind side, there's the hand in by Michael Jordan, which leads to the fast break opportunity.
50 seconds to go. A 4-point deficit facing the East. Jordan trying to cut that in half. Shaquille. Stockton. And timeout called by Stockton, who is pinned in.
John Stockton didn't even try to mess around with it. He knew he was in the middle of a big double team. Ewing was there to intercept. Call timeout.
Foul, Pippen on Marley. Marley in the game. He is 1 for 2 from the line. 16 points. Chance to build the West lead to 6 with 35 and a half seconds left.
pretty good free throw shooter, 77% for the regular season.
Paul Westfall's players here in overtime. Marley and Barkley imposing on the East. It's going to take a couple of trays for Riley's Eastern team to tie it. That's an all-star record for Price. Good exterior defense. Jordan with 28 seconds. Oh, line drive.
How do you shoot a three? Going to your left, fade out of bounds. Defensive player on you, getting smacked a little bit, and still knock it down.
Because he's Michael Jordan.
30 points for Jordan.
Yeah, well, Riley said, let's go through Michael Jordan. They certainly did here. Hand in the back, a little bit of a push, fade him to the baseline, in the hole.
Jordan, who has the highest scoring average in All-Star history, 21. Listen, I'm going this way with you, Michael. Right this way.
You know, it's interesting to see that Pat Riley is pulling for him and his teammate so hard today, and then tomorrow they had war.
They meet in the Eastern Conference Finals, he will be pulling for.
There you go.
Hardaway needs one of these two. To give the West a 4-point lead.
And there goes Isaiah talking to him. Isaiah's chatting with him.
Somebody better make sure they box out in case it's a long rebound. Isaiah may be on the line instead of Mark Price in this situation.
Hardaway is now 9 for 11. Oh, my. Ewing with a rebound. Here comes Price. Plenty of time.
They're going to flow into now the shot attempt.
Stolen by Stockton and then almost taken back, but a foul. I believe it was Price.
What happened that time is Price had penetrated so deep that I think his players felt he was going to go in for the score. He, understanding what the score was on the clock, was trying to kick back out to Isaiah for the three. That's where the bad hand. Look how deep he is. Is he going to shoot? No! And the hand by Stockton gets the deflection, and then the basketball.
Another thing, Mike, John Stockton tipped the ball away from Isaiah and made it hit, I think, his right hand, and then he couldn't recover to go get it. Good move by John Stockton. Good defense.
13 and a half seconds. 3-point lead. David Robinson is 5 for 8 from the line. So 3 straight misses here in the final seconds by the West, and Mark Price goes over, and Pippen says something to Robinson.
Well, they double-teamed him that time. Put a lot of stuff in his ear.
Yeah.
Robinson's 20th point gives the West a 4-point lead, 134-130. All right, snapper, 4-point advantage. Pippen will inbound the ball from the near sidelines. To Price, forcing the three. Robinson rebounds, and that should do it. 9.2 seconds.
Well, that time when Price came up open, but he stumbled when the ball was coming to him, and he couldn't regain his balance, and too bad, because he had a good look and he was open.
It's so difficult to get the ball inbounds from a side out in the NBA because of the great athletes, because the defenses are so good, and the coaching in the timeouts is normally so good during the season. That's why the execution becomes so important. It's inches when you're coming off the screen, where the ball is passed, and a little stumble that time cost them.
You know, and when I played in All-Star games and the game was tight, sometimes you wonder, these guys all are the go-to guys on their team. And I wonder how Michael felt when the play wasn't designed for him.
Scottie Pippen throws the three. Batted out by Stockton with 3.6 seconds. 5-point deficit staring at the East. Certainly made it a battle. There weren't a lot of loose smiles around. You saw Mark Price just moments ago. That's the kind of smile you saw a lot of in most All-Star games, but not today. It was tense. Co-MVPs, you got your wish. 1993 All-Star MVPs, John Stockton and Karl Malone. A Utah Jazz parlay. Malone had 28 points, 10 rebounds. Stockton, 15 assists and 7 rebounds. The final goes to the West by 5, 135-130.
And now, the NBA postgame show and mid-season review. In the Atlantic Division, the Knicks look like early favorites to come out on top, as they now have the best record in the division and the conference. The Nets are solidly in second and are having a great season under Dream Team coach Chuck Daly. The Celtics and Shaq's Magic still hover just over the 500 mark, while Miami, Philadelphia, and Washington bring up the rear out of playoff contention. In the Central Division, the Bulls are still on top, but the Cavaliers, now healthy, have pulled it within a game and a half in what promises to be a great battle down the stretch. Charlotte continues toward its first playoff berth behind talented rookie Alonzo Mourning. Atlanta and Indiana remain in the hunt, but it appears to be a lost season for the Pistons and the Bucks. The Midwest features the surprise of the league, as first-year head coach John Lucas is 20-4 since taking over for Jerry Tarkanian. Utah is still to be feared, and the Rockets have played invincibly at home as of late. Denver's caught fire at home also as Bryant Stiff has returned from the injured list. And the Timberwolves are kept out of last only by the hapless Mavs. Phoenix continues to dominate the toughest division in the NBA as they lead both Portland and Seattle by 6 games. The Lakers and Sonics just completed a deal, sending unsigned draft pick Doug Christie and Benoit Benjamin to the Lakers for Sam Perkins. The Clippers look for a strong second half, as the Warriors and Kings have fallen due to injuries to All-Stars Chris Mullin and Mitch Richmond. At the break, the leader in scoring is Michael Jordan, looking for his 7th straight title, while the master of the boards is Dennis Rodman, pulling down an incredible 19 a game. John Stockton tries for his 5th straight assist title, while Hakeem Olajuwon is swatting away shots an impressive 4.2 times a game. Jordan is also the leading thief in the NBA this year at 2.68 steals a game, while Brad Daugherty doesn't miss too many shots as he faces the league in field goal percentage. Cavs teammate Mark Price is dead-eye at the line, while the Croatian sensation Drazen Petrovic knocks down 3-pointers with record efficiency. Hey, don't worry, we're still going to rewind.
Hey, get that hair out of your eyes so you can see Rewind. Saturday. Is this Doug Moe's new look, or did he just forget to put on his socks this morning? A mascot gets mugged, and Scott Hastings adds insult to injury. Not much goes right for the Mavs, but this did as Brian Howard slips it to Lamont Struthers. But later on, Randy White makes a perfect pass to the water cooler. Now, why is Charles laughing? Well, they tried to distract him with a woman in a bikini, but it turns out they must have brought the wrong poster. Sunday. John Barry took a swan dive, and I'd give him a 9.5, but I guess that guy wasn't too impressed. Magic gets a Dream Team ring to go along with his gold medal. Game of the year, triple overtime. Shaq stuffs Patrick, the Magic beat the Knicks, and Pat Riley's reaching for those headache pills. Monday, Darrell Walker leads Kings coach Gary St. Jean fit to be tied. Tuesday, another man who could use a tie clip is the Spurs coach John Lucas. Watch this shot by Neat. Talk about a friendly bounce off the top of the backboard and through the hoop. Dan Marley puts it up. Rick Fox gets his hand on it, but the ball had a mind of its own. Somebody blow on it. Wednesday, happy birthday, Michael. And, oh, by the way, hi, Mom. Jordan celebrates his 30th birthday and flies in for the occasion, while Shaq gives his own kind of birthday greeting. That's David Wingate with the overhead pass and Kendall Gilt with the overhead slam. Thursday, Jay Humphries with the dish and the mailman with the postage. In Houston, it's Sherman Douglas with the buzzer beater of the week. That didn't even count. Same game, it's Scott Brooks doing the alley, Robert Horry providing the oop, and the Rockets roll.